My days start early with a flurry of decisions and meetings, balancing education and administration, a demanding life I cherished. Hi, I'm Martha, a 35-year-old vice principal at a prestigious city university. Each morning, I walk through the lively university corridors, surrounded by our dedicated staff and students. My role transcends a mere job. It's a commitment to shaping futures, a duty I share with my husband, Francis, 40, the university head. Our life revolves around our careers. Today, there's an unusual excitement due to the arrival of a new faculty member, Julia, a 25-year-old ambitious lecturer. Francis, keen on nurturing talent, has me welcome her. In the faculty lounge, Francis, visibly thrilled, introduces Julia, who notably dresses less formally than typical academic attire. "Everyone, this is Julia," he announces, highlighting her impressive credentials and new ideas expected to enhance our programs. Julia, scanning the room, acknowledges me briefly with a possibly disdainful or challenging look. "Thank you, Francis," she says confidently. "I'm here to teach, learn, and eventually lead." Her ambitious declaration subtly challenges the status quo, stirring my unease. Throughout the day, Julia's presence is unmistakable, her laughter loud, her remarks sharp. While Francis is captivated by her potential, I notice the disturbances she's starting to cause. I try to concentrate on the positives, the new semester and programs, the potential for growth. Yet, Julia's words linger, signaling inevitable, though not always welcome, change. This day marks not just the start of the academic year, but the beginning of a shift that could redefine my life and career. As the sun sets, I sit in my office, bracing for what's to come. The quiet life I knew now teeters on the brink. Morning light fills the faculty lounge as we meet to start the semester. The room is tense, possibly from my own nerves, as Julia's integration into our community takes center stage. Her presence seems to shift the university's social dynamics. "Let's welcome Julia," Francis says warmly, prompting mixed applause that mirrors my apprehension. Julia steps up, her confidence clear. "Thank you," she starts. "I'm thrilled to be here and aim to push boundaries and redefine limits at our esteemed institution." Her ambitious words unsettle me, as she seems ready to disrupt our long-upheld norms. During the meeting, Julia challenges old policies, proposes new ideas, and boldly interacts with colleagues, weaving herself into our community's fabric and unsettling established norms. Walking back to my office, a longtime colleague comments, "She's quite something, isn't she? Seems like a whirlwind." I respond noncommittally, change can be good, though I'm not convinced myself. In my office, I reflect on Julia's quick rise. Her strategic interactions and dismissal of established methods feel orchestrated. Francis's admiration for her, clouding his usually impeccable judgment, complicates things further. As the day closes, I log off, the empty campus outside offering little comfort. Julia's challenging look during the meeting sticks with me. She sees me as an obstacle to her ambitions. Locking my office, I ponder today's events as more than an introduction. They were a declaration of intent. Driving home, the lines are drawn not just for the university's future, but for my place within it. As the city lights pass, I resolve to face the upcoming challenges. As the semester unfolds, each day introduces subtle changes, reflecting the impact of Julia's influence. The university, once governed by predictability, now vibrates with the novelty of her ideas, which begin to challenge established practices and cause unease. In meetings, Julia speaks louder and more boldly. "Why adhere to outdated methods when we can lead with innovation?" she challenges, her gaze briefly meeting mine with clear provocation. The room divides, with some nodding in agreement and others, like me, silently contemplating the balance between innovation and tradition. The tension permeates beyond meetings to corridor conversations, the faculty lounge, and even spills over into social media debates about our institution's direction. Julia emerges as a polarizing figure, both admired for her audacity and resented for her disruptive approach. One afternoon, Helen, a seasoned professor and trusted voice of reason, visits my office. "It's about Julia," she begins cautiously. Her ideas are causing discontent, and she seems intent on quickly climbing the ranks. I'm concerned about the divisions forming. I acknowledge her concerns. I'm aware, Helen. I'm monitoring the situation closely. We need to balance innovation with stability. I won't let hasty decisions erode our foundation. Helen leaves, relieved but warning, be careful, Martha. Ambition like Julia's is a double-edged sword. This warning resonates as Julia's tactics become more evident, her alliances strengthen, and her disregard for my authority grows. Her supporters, increasing in number, challenge the established norms at faculty events. In a heated faculty senate meeting, Julia critiques a policy I implemented years ago, claiming we're stagnating because we're too afraid to leap, her eyes challenging me directly. The meeting concludes without resolution, leaving the faculty divided. Alone in the now empty room, I reflect on the discord Julia has introduced. As I gather the scattered papers, the responsibility of my role weighs heavily. The university I've dedicated my career to stands at a pivotal juncture. Julia's challenge is clear: adapt or be sidelined. But as I lock up, a resolute determination strengthens within me. I'm not prepared to step aside. The fight for the university's soul has just begun, and I am not conceding. As autumn deepens, bringing chill winds that rattle the ivy-clad university walls, a similar chill pervades our meetings. The camaraderie once felt is replaced by palpable tension. Julia's influence grows as she gains support from key faculty and administrators. One morning, Francis and I hurry to an emergency meeting he's called. His somber expression foreshadows the gravity of the situation. "It's important, Martha," he had said, his voice strained. I nodded, filled with apprehension. At the meeting, packed with faculty and staff, Francis introduces Julia, who stands defiantly beside him. "We're here to discuss some serious administrative irregularities," he announces. Julia steps up, accusing me of mismanagement that risks our university's financial and reputational standing. The room falls silent. Shocked, I realize I've walked into a trap. I assure you, every decision I've made has been for the good of this institution. I defend myself, despite my trembling hands. Julia presents documents, emails, memos, snippets of conversations, all painting a picture of incompetence. The atmosphere shifts, doubtful eyes replace warm greetings. The meeting ends with Francis regrettably suspending me, pending investigation. "It's a difficult decision, but necessary," he says, avoiding my gaze. As people leave, whispers of shock and speculation echo behind them. I return to my office, the walls covered with certificates and photos from better times, now seeming to mock me. Packing my belongings, I'm reminded of my years of dedication. Leaving the university, the campus feels alien, less like home, more like a battlefield. The rustling leaves and chilly wind feel like whispers of betrayal. Driving home, under gray skies, I recognize the depth of this professional and personal betrayal. Francis, my partner in life and work, had allowed my downfall. Julia's victory extends beyond professional realms, shaking the foundations of my marriage. As I arrive at what was once a shared home, I realize my old life is over. Yet, amid the devastation, our resolve forms. I am betrayed and ousted, but not defeated. I will fight to clear my name and reclaim my life. The battle is just beginning. The days following my suspension are clouded with disbelief and hurt. Each morning, I awaken in a once joyful home, now silent, echoing the emptiness of my heart. Encounters with Francis are brief and awkward, our once intimate conversations reduced to the bare essentials. News of my suspension spreads quickly through the academic community, chilling the warmth and camaraderie I once enjoyed. Friends and colleagues, uncertain of their loyalties, often choose silence, leaving me isolated. One cold morning, I receive legal papers Francis has filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Julia's influence is apparent in every line. Losing not just my job, but also my partner crystallizes my situation. There's nothing left of our life together. With little support, I decide to leave our home. Packing feels like sifting through relics of a bygone era, each shared memento now a fragment of a distant, unreal past. Driving away for the last time, I clutch the university's severance package, feeling the finality of leaving not just a job, but a life. The university was my family, and now I'm cast out. Settled in a small apartment, contrasting sharply with the leafy university grounds, I begin to rebuild my life. My days are filled with job applications, divorce preparations, and long walks in unfamiliar streets, shaping a plan. Julia and Francis underestimate me if they think I'll vanish quietly. I start gathering evidence, reconnecting with allies whose loyalty outweighs their fear, piecing together Julia's manipulations. One evening, while reviewing documents, Julia calls in a panic. Francis is missing, she blurts out. He hasn't come home. I suggest she check his favorite solitary spots. After a pause, Julia's voice chills. You know, don't you? About everything. Yes, Julia, I do. And soon, everyone else will too, I reply. Hanging up, I sense the tide turning. Julia's fearful call confirms my suspicions. Francis's downfall, fueled by his vices and Julia's ambition, is underway. Once their pawn, I am now poised to expose their misdeeds. As autumn turns to winter, my new routine of job hunting and legal consultations becomes routine, punctuated by quiet triumphs. Uncovering the extent of Julia's manipulation and Francis's involvement provides cold comfort, yet it strengthens my resolve. One icy evening, an unfamiliar number appears on my phone. It's Julia, her voice shaky. It's Francis, she stutters, he's vanished. I thought he might be with you. The irony of her assumption almost makes me smile. Francis and I haven't spoken in weeks, Julia. Why would he come here? After a pause, she hesitates. I thought maybe you would know where he might go when. She can't finish her sentence. Gambling? I suggest. Why call me, Julia? Why not the police? I can't involve them. It could ruin us, she admits, desperate. I see. If I hear anything, I'll let you know, I say, knowing I won't. Ending the call, I feel a surge of power. Julia's fear suggests her plans are crumbling. For the first time in months, I'm ahead. The next day, I visit Francis's old gambling spots. In a smoke-filled room, I find him haggard, desperate, a shadow of himself. Martha, I didn't know who else to turn to, he says, his face showing shock, then shame. Why turn to anyone, Francis? Why not face the consequences of your actions for once? I ask, cutting him off. Save it, Francis. I'm not here to help. I came to see if Julia was telling the truth. Clearly, she was, I state firmly. I leave him there, amidst his ruin, walking out into the cold night, my heart heavy, but my path clear. This painful encounter is a step toward freeing myself from the past. That night, as the city lights flicker like distant stars, I realize the importance of my next moves. Julia's call and Francis's downfall are not just endings, but beginnings of a new chapter where I control the game. The battle continues, but I am ready to fight it on my terms. Winter deepens, chilling the city and its inhabitants. My life, once solitary, now shows signs of new beginnings, driven by my resolve to reclaim my dignity and ensure justice. My apartment becomes a sanctuary for strategizing. Each piece of evidence and testimony I collect strengthens my case for a return not just to the university, but to a respected position within the academic community. Then, one frosty morning, Francis appears at my doorstep. His face is weary, his eyes haunted, a shadow of the confident man he once was. He looks diminished, broken. Martha, I need your help, he says, his voice barely audible against the wind. The audacity of his request stings. Here's the man who betrayed me, now seeking refuge. Help! I reply, the door only slightly open, maintaining a gap between us. Francis, you stripped me of everything, my career, my love, my home. What more do you expect? I've made mistakes, terrible ones, he concedes, looking down. Julia has left me. The university is pressing charges, and I have nowhere else to go. His confession hangs in the cold air. And you think I should care? I ask, my voice as cold as the wind. I don't expect forgiveness, but maybe a chance to make things right, he pleads. Despite a fleeting tug of old affection, the deeper scars of betrayal harden my resolve. Francis, you're not the man I married. You chose this path, and now you must walk it alone, I say, finality in my voice. I close the door, severing the last ties to my old life, freeing me to rebuild. Francis's footsteps fade, and the silence of my apartment envelopes me. Empowered, I refocus on my future. Over the following weeks, I intensify my efforts, contacting allies, gathering evidence, and preparing for legal battles. The university's legal team, viewing me not as an adversary, but as a key witness against Francis's mismanagement, now collaborates with me. Each step is measured, each decision strategic. The goal is clear, not only to restore my name, but to prevent such betrayals from recurring. As spring nears, renewal begins, and like the budding flowers, I emerge from the cold, ready to bloom, strengthened by my trials and battles. The path ahead is clear, walked not only for myself, but for all those wronged by trusted figures. The fight for justice is only beginning, but I am ready. Spring arrives, breathing fresh air and renewal into my life, mirroring the positive changes ahead. With legal matters progressing and the truth emerging, I shift my focus toward the future and rebuilding what was lost. An unexpected invitation from Oscar, Francis's uncle and the university's principal, suggests a coffee meeting near the university. The idea of returning stirs mixed emotions, but the need to reclaim my place drives me forward. Entering the cafe, I'm greeted by the familiar sense of coffee and pastries. Oscar stands, his greeting serious yet warm. "Thank you for coming," he says, shaking my hand firmly. We find a quiet corner. Oscar is direct. "I apologize for the turmoil you've endured. We've strayed from our core values because of poor leadership." His acknowledgement is soothing. "Thank you, Oscar. I'm here to discuss how we move forward," I respond. Oscar proposes a partnership, not just a reinstatement. "We need your strength and integrity. Let's restore trust and rebuild the university's reputation together." The offer ignites a renewed sense of purpose in me. I'm ready to come back, not just in my old role, but to lead us into a new era of transparency and innovation. We outline a strategy for the coming months, including open forums for feedback, a review of policies, and new accountability measures. It's a comprehensive plan to mend and strengthen the university community. Parting ways under the spring sun, I feel a profound shift within. The past's bitterness lingers as a reminder of lessons learned, but the path forward is clear and promising. Back at my apartment, I feel energized by our plans. The upcoming challenges are daunting, but the support from Oscar and the potential for positive change motivate me. I spend the evening drafting proposals, inspired by the twinkling city lights. The road ahead has obstacles, but the weight of isolation has lifted. I'm returning not just to a job, but to a role that will redefine my legacy and the future of the university. As I settle for the night, the quiet contrasts sharply with the past year's tumult. Yet now, there's peace in the silence, recognizing the battles fought and won. Tomorrow, I will enter the university not as a victim, but as a leader ready to forge a new path. The brisk morning air is invigorating as I approach the university, now a symbol of new beginnings. The lengthy legal proceedings have concluded, revealing the wrongdoings of Francis and Julia and impacting the university's reputation. But with transparency and commitment, we're on a path to recovery. Walking through campus, the familiar buildings and lush spring trees symbolize resilience and welcome my return. Today is the first of the open forums we've planned to rebuild trust within the community. The auditorium is filled with a mix of skepticism and hope as I take the stage. My voice is steady with hard-earned confidence. "Thank you for being here," I start. This forum is about moving forward together, restoring integrity, and ensuring such injustices never recur. The discussion that follows is intense and productive. Faculty and students voice their disillusionment and aspirations, contributing to our collective healing. Feedback from the forum is overwhelmingly positive. The community appreciates the openness and the opportunity to be heard, contrasting sharply with the previous opaque administration. The support I receive fuels my resolve to continue these efforts. In the following weeks, we implement policies for greater oversight and accountability and launch initiatives to foster innovation and collaboration. The library's newly renovated section reflects our progress. The university is not just recovering, it's thriving. Media coverage has turned positive, highlighting our transformative steps and attracting new partnerships. At a press conference, I proudly represent our new era. We've turned a challenging chapter into a stepping stone for greatness, I declare. We're modeling resilience and integrity. As the day ends, I return to my office, the evening light casting long shadows across the room filled with new plans. Sitting at my desk, I reflect on the journey, tough but ultimately rewarding. I lay down my pen, recognizing this as not just my victory, but a victory for all who value truth and justice. Our university, my second home, now prioritizes integrity, promising a bright future. As I turn off the lights and close the door, I am ready for tomorrow's possibilities. The first rays of the morning sun filter through the leaves, casting dappled shadows on the path as I walk through the university grounds. Today marks a year since I returned to forge a new life here. The campus is vibrant with the energy of students and faculty, contrasting sharply with its once somber atmosphere. As I approach the newly opened Center for Ethical Leadership, a project I spearheaded to promote integrity and transparency, I reflect on the journey here. The building stands as a testament to our commitment to change and uphold our values. Inside, the center bustles with activity. Today, we celebrate its first anniversary with a symposium featuring diverse speakers on ethics and leadership, attended by a mix of eager students and seasoned professionals. I open the event from the podium, feeling the convergence of past challenges and future promises. Welcome to our first anniversary symposium, I announce. Today celebrates our dedication to integrity, a cornerstone of our university. The symposium brims with dynamic discussions and insightful debates, transforming the center from a mere building to a crucible for future-shaping ideas. After the event, I step outside for solitude in the quiet garden behind the center, reflecting on the personal costs of recent years, fought battles, and endured losses. Yet, the peace and satisfaction of contributing to something meaningful affirm that every struggle was worthwhile. As evening approaches, I'm back in my office, watching the sunset paint the sky. The challenges of the past fade into distant echoes, overshadowed by our current successes and future possibilities. My phone buzzes with a message from Oscar, now a trusted friend. Today was a great success. Thank you, Martha. Your leadership is inspiring. I smile, grateful for the acknowledgement, and type a quick response. Leaning back, I allow myself a moment to appreciate my reclaimed life. Tonight, I'll return to a peaceful, solitary home, reflecting on my journey from betrayal to leadership, a path that taught me about resilience, justice, and renewal. As I lock my office, the quiet halls echoing my steps, I feel prepared for tomorrow's challenges and opportunities to make a difference, guided by integrity and a commitment to heartfelt service. Stepping into the cooling evening, the campus silhouetted against the twilight sky, I feel